They're not even going to go with that, and they'll just, collectively do this job that the president of basketball operations would do, or maybe they'll just bestow that on one person. But the other thing is, now you open this thing up for another coaching search. You had the opportunity to hire Monty Williams. He went to Phoenix. It seems like it was just a two-man race. They did talk about Jason Kidd interviewing as well, but it seems like that was more about being an assistant on the roster. And then that was some of the stuff that was talked about with Ty Lue, discussing, I guess, who would be on his bench as far as like his coaching staff. So you probably had Ty saying, hey, I want guy A, B, C, D. And they were like, hey, you got to take this other person. He was like, nah, I don't want that person. Or it was maybe vice versa, somebody that he had that they did not want on there. But Jason Kidd, he is still in the mix for being on the roster. So I really don't think that he would be the head coach. But I do think they want him to be on the coaching staff for whoever is going to be the coach. So now there's three names that's been put out there for the Lakers as far as like consideration. One is Frank Vogel, who was the former Orlando Magic and Indiana Pacers coach. You got Mike Woodson, who actually coached here in Atlanta and also coached in New York for a quick stint. And then Lionel Hollins, who also had his last stint with the Brooklyn Nets. So those are the three names that's being thrown out as ideal candidates. LeBron has said, hey, I'm stepping back from that. Y'all hire whoever it is. I don't want to be a part of that process of them trying to select the coach. So at this point, it is who's making the decisions. And this is not to be disrespectful. This is not to really question someone, but I guess I am questioning by asking a question. But I'm trying to figure out what is the Lakers' angle. Magic leaves. You don't have a president of basketball operations. Luke Walton leaves. However way you want to look at it, he quit. He got fired. Y'all parted ways. Whatever. He's not there. You don't have a coach. And then the ideal coach that you're thinking that's going to take this position, then they say, you know what, everything is not working out the way we thought it would be. Maybe we all should just, go our separate ways and live our best life. And the question, after saying all that, the question is basically, who is on the staffing of the Lakers? Not because Kurt Rambis is on there and other people, not as a player, but as an executive who is on their current roster of the coaching staff, of the executive members, of their, anybody else that has some pedigree of championship. To me, you want someone like Ty Lue who has a pedigree of some type of championship. Yes, he got it as a player, but he got it as a coach like we were just talking about. You went and got Magic basketball operations. That didn't work out. You had the opportunity to go and get someone that has some type of pedigree. You haven't did that. So what are the Lakers doing right now? And I'm looking into a Wait a Minute Show chat room and, what some of the listeners are putting out there. There's other stuff. Clutch Conversations is talking about Linda Ramsey out here low-key running the organization. There's been that rumor, that her and Kirk, are basically, calling shots out there. When did that come to be, the ideal situation or that's how we're going to move through the NBA? So this thing starts from the top, bottom there. Jenny Buss has gotten her criticism as well. But I still think you got to get your president of basketball operations. Whoever is going to construct this team, and roll with that and then get the coach. Is it Rob Pelinka? I have no idea. But the Lakers got to do something. They got to do something. They got to do it quick. Because LeBron is not in year 8. He is in year 16 going on 17. And at some point, he is going to slow down. At some point, though, he is going to need more help than what he normally needs. Could it be the current roster that they have? Possibly. Remember, before LeBron went down, they were fourth in the NBA. So they could be better than what a lot of people are giving them credit to be. But it doesn't look like the Anthony Davis thing is going to happen or anything like that anytime soon. So you are looking at trying to get your coach, trying to get your organization together, and figure out, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? The other thing that's going on, and I talked about this at the beginning of the show, I said I wasn't going to, I'm not going to talk anything about the game. I'm going to talk about the organization, because it was halftime. The Boston Celtics was basically in the process of getting the business handed to them. And I'm going to check the score just real quick because they're out at the halftime. But 40-52. So, they're still in it. Don't get me wrong. They're only down by 12 at this point. But they got to be careful because the third quarter just started and they could be down by 20, before they know it. But I think we all believe and feel that this thing is over for the Boston Celtics. Whether they pull out a game today, we don't think that they can get 4 wins before the Milwaukee Bucks do. So let's just say that happens tonight. Let's just say it is over for the Boston Celtics. Could the Boston Celtics actually be restarting? And what I mean by, are they restarting? And I'm not using the term rebuilding because they have pieces there. So that's why I'm saying restarting. Restarting is what I'm getting to, is that chances are, rumors are, Kyrie Irving is not going to be back. Kyrie Irving is probably going to be in New York, or he's going to be somewhere else. Wherever it is that Kyrie Irving is probably going to go, he's not going to be in Boston. That does leave Gordon Hayward there. And then you still have that nucleus that you had. But are they restarting as far as like trying to find their identity? Because this year, I really thought it was just going to take them time. And as time went on, they were going to get better and they were going to find their identity. They were going to find that chemistry and they were going to find a way to be able to play together and not have lapses like they've had during the regular season, but now that how they're having it in the postseason. And that has not come to fruition. And they are in the position that they are in now, being down 3-1 and their season almost over. And again, restarting. Remember Danny Ainge? He had all these draft picks, and they were picking high. They were cashing in on guys like Tatum, and others that they were drafting, Jaylen Brown. And they still have these draft picks that Danny Ainge did not want to trade at all to go and try and get some other type of free agent. He basically played the hand of, we're going to save this. This is for the big fish, and everything. Well, that big fish that was out there was pretty much Anthony Davis. And everyone is saying that Anthony Davis is not going to come to Boston. The only way that they had a shot at him coming to Boston is if Kyrie stayed. And we all believe that, Kyrie is going to be gone, at the end of this year. So could they be restarting? Could they be trying to find out how they are going to move going forward in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference, in their own division? Because you have to think, and again, we're kind of jumping to the future, but we're not going to predict the future. We're going to just say the future is what we want to make it. So let's say the future is, again, Kyrie leaves, but also Kawhi stays in the Eastern Conference. So then you have Toronto. You have a team in Philadelphia that you really have to consider that they at some point should get better, hopefully get better. And then you still have a team that could be formidable in the Pacers when Victor Oladipo gets better. But it seems like the Milwaukee Bucks is putting their foot on the Eastern Conference to let everybody know, like, hey, we will be running the Eastern Conference and it won't be one of these other teams. So it's not like you're in the same position that we thought that the Boston Celtics were going to be in and be in a position of possibly in the running to go to the Eastern Conference Finals each season after season, probably for the next 3 or 4 to 5 seasons, and then you still got these draft picks. So it looks like right now they may just have these draft picks, that they're just banking on maybe drafting other guys, but then you right back where you are as far as like trying to find that chemistry, and I do think they're going to be restarting. I do think they're going to take a step back. And it's not really because Kyrie's leaving. I just think you're going to have guys a year older in Al Horford. You're going to have guys in Gordon Hayward himself still trying to figure out what his role is. And then you're going to have to try and find out who is the guy on your team. Is that Tatum? Is that Jaylen Brown? No. Is that Terry Rozier? No. Could it be a draft pick? Maybe, possibly. So there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, for this team after this season. And that's why I asked, could they be restarting? And to me, the answer is yes. I think to some degree they will be restarting. So and I have to apologize before I move on to the next subject, because normally what I do, I go into the Wait a Minute Show chat room to read some of the comments other than just what Clutch Conversation said. So I apologize. Let me go back and read some of the stuff that the people out there in the Wait a Minute Show world is saying. So Mo Cheese is saying, I would have hired David Griffin. And that's a great comment there, Mo, because I felt the same way. To me, you had David Griffin just in there. It wasn't like he was on another team's payroll. He was working for NBA, I think TV, if I remember correctly. He was working for NBA TV, and I don't know if they reached out to him or not. But once again, it points out what I was just saying, is that championship pedigree. You bring in someone that has done this and will be able to handle a franchise such as the Lakers. I saw someone else that, and I'm sorry I missed who said it. Maybe I can go and find a name, but someone brought up Chauncey Billups. Now Chauncey Billups, I'm going to be a little biased because he played for my Pistons, but I'm going to try and be objective, to this. I don't know if that is the right position for Chauncey to move in, being it his first upper management job. So I don't know if I would have wanted Chauncey Billups, coming in that. Now, Chauncey, I think, has been rumored for Minnesota, if I remember correctly. And for something like that, yes. But I just don't think going in to a franchise where there's going to be all this scrutiny, it's going to be all this magnifying glass on the team. I don't think that would be the right situation just yet for someone like Chauncey Billups. So those are some of the comments, and we'll go back as the show go on and read some more of your comments. So keep putting them in there, and we'll read them out, and I give you my opinion. And sometimes Lopan might have an opinion too. I say sometimes Lopan might have an opinion too. Indeed. Thank you, Lopan. I set you up, man. All you got to do is dunk the ball. Come on, man. Come on, pay attention. Pay attention. Speaking of paying attention, I've been paying attention as of late, and I am so happy about this. One, if you listen to this live, we will be off by the time the Rockets and the Warriors tip off. So you don't have to worry about anything with that. The other thing is, I am so happy that this series is tied up. The Rockets had me scared for a moment. I did say I was going to go with them to win, and I booked it that they would win Game 3, and that's exactly what they did, and they won Game 4 to tie this series up. So now we actually got something to talk about, because what that was, those first two games. Although you know, you had some close matches